Rev up your engines!
Well, old Elon's telling it as it is now. He says that Tesla's losing billions of dollars because of all the shortage of material. Factory in Austin can't build them. To quote Elon, both Berlin and Austin factories have gigantic money furnaces right now, okay? It's really like a giant roaring sound, which is the sound of money on fire. Gee, it kind of reminds me of another guy living in Texas ages ago. This thing was, you hear that giant sucking sound? That's the government wasting your money. Well, I think old Elon might have ulterior motives here because he's talking about laying people off. He's obviously not a fool. He's seeing there's a recession coming. He even sometimes said it was a good thing. Americans need to know the value of money and la la la. Well, whatever. Probably scale things down now. Amongst other things he talked about at this meeting of investing in Tesla was that now the Tesla Cybertruck is going to be pushed into mid-2023. It keeps going into the future. Let me tell you something. I did a thing on three-wheeled vehicles ages ago. The guy was going to be making them in Shreveport, Louisiana, where they made the old Hummer factory. And he hasn't built a single car yet. It was the three-wheeled Elio. First, he said he was going to build gas ones. And he was so in debt, they never built any. They made a couple of mock-ups, but they never produced any. And now they said, oh, we're going to make electric versions of them now instead. And, of course, they haven't been built either. Now, the Elio company, like I say, built any cars. And now they're talking, we're going to build electric cars. Of course, he still needs hundreds of millions of dollars of investment that doesn't exist. The Cybertruck, to me, is kind of another idea like that. They keep pushing to the future that they're going to build. And if there is a recession, guess what? They're not going to start building Cybertrucks in the middle of a recession. They'll be expensive. Who's going to buy them? Certainly, if there's a recession, there's not going to be any buildup of electrical infrastructure either. So, kind of interesting that he says he's got giant furnaces sucking up his money, billions of dollars. Well, heck, he's the richest man in the world. Well, at some point, they say he is, right? So I guess he can afford throwing billions into the furnace. Design Pill says, I rented a Tesla Model 3 from Hertz and it ruined my vacation because it wasn't more expensive than standard rental, and I thought, why not? Save on gas. Unfortunately, I rented Model 3, had sensor problems at 150 miles outside of LA. They incapacitated the autopilot cruise through error codes and constant chiming that collision avoidance were not working. I tried to troubleshoot it, start, restart, nothing worked. Something was going haywire. So, if you plan on road tripping or venturing anywhere beyond 50 miles of a rental facility with a Tesla, no, if anything goes wrong, you'll basically have to return it to the facility or another major city that is Tesla's. There's no way to fix it or diagnose it. The service has to be scheduled and organized through a Tesla app, which a rental doesn't have access to. I tried to stop at a Tesla service center, and it was like talking to an alien language. No, I don't have the app. No, I didn't make an appointment. The car's broken. Can you look at it? Blank stares. They didn't care. My only way to get to Hertz was their roadside assistance, and their solution was to exchange the car, and the only nearest one was at LAX, 400-mile round trip. Be leery if you rent a Tesla. They've had problems with those screens and stuff. And don't think if there's a fleet of rental cars that they're going to get those things fixed under the recalls. I have rented normal cars in my life, and they never took the rental cars for recalls. Check engine lights were on. I'm a mechanic, and I always carry a machine with me, a scanner, so I'd see what it is. And if I looked at it and saw, it doesn't mean anything. It's an anti-pollution thing, so I just kept driving the car. I didn't care. But the screen didn't go blank and stuff like that. So be leery about buying a Tesla. Hey, maybe you should be leery about even renting one if you don't want to ruin your vacation. The technology is not tried and true, that's for sure. Avalon04 says, should I put my automatic transmission into neutral at stoplights? It's got no 4 Avalon with 167,000 miles. People tell me if I leave it in drive when I'm sitting at a stoplight, it puts a little wear on the transmission. Should I put it in neutral? Should I leave it alone? Well, it's a Toyota. I just leave it alone, unless it's shaking. If it's old and it shakes in drive but not neutral, what the heck? Put it in neutral. It won't shake. A lot of people do that. I do that on my old Celica. Shakes a lot in drive because the torque converter's worn, so I put it in neutral. I've been doing that for like 8 years. Still runs perfectly fine, so who cares? You really don't care, right? As a general rule, you just want to leave them in drive. The cars are made well enough. Now, understand this. No car was made for sitting there in drive for 20, 30 minutes. If you're waiting at a train, crossing in front of you, it's going to be 15, 20 minutes. Put the car in park, shut it off. You're going to be sitting that long because it does put a tiny bit of strain on the engine. When the cops are sitting in their cars with the AC on in the summer, not going anywhere, they don't have them in drive, they have them in park or neutral, and then it won't overheat the transmission just sitting there straining. But for short periods of time, you don't really need to unless it's shaking. It's not really going to hurt. It's a Toyota, Chris, an Avalon. They don't have wear problems with the transmissions anyways. Unless you're waiting for a train for 15, 20 minutes, just leave it and drive. Chris T.D. Boda says, my grandma's got an old Audi, 1989, 1.8 gasoline, nearing 400,000 kilometers. She's had it since 97. Gee, she bought it used. Still runs like a clock, no rust. She doesn't want another car. What do you think? Should we get her a new car? It depends on how old she is. If grandma's really old, what the heck? You might as well just let her keep driving it. The car might outlast her. It's rare that an Audi outlasts its owner, but you never know. Back in 89, they were making those things better. They're well-made vehicles back then. She's got all that mileage on it. What the heck? Just take care of it. Keep driving it around. Like I say, many things, they don't make them like they used to. And in terms of Audi, yeah, the old ones didn't have that crazy technology that the new ones do. They are cheaper to fix. You got 400,000 kilometers, that's 200-something thousand miles. You don't get that out of the new Audis. They'll break long before that. Might as well just let her keep driving around. What the heck? Of course, if she is old, eventually she's not going to be able to drive anymore. My mother drove up until she was like 92 and a half years old, and then she really couldn't drive anymore. She shouldn't be on the road. So they don't make them like they used to, especially the Audis. Just keep driving. Why throw money out? You never know. Back in the day, it's built better, and she's got that kind of mods on it, and just keep taking care of her. What the heck? Tyron N says, I need a key fob for my 97 Celica. One of my fobs stopped working. I only have one left. If the remaining one goes out, what can I do? I don't want to spend a fortune. The dealer wants too much money. I only paid $1,200 for the car. What can I do? If you saw that video at Tom's Key Company online, I took pictures with my camera of my wife's Lexus key and the Matrix key. Just took pictures. Sent them the pictures. They sent me keys to the car that worked, turned the ignition on, and they also sent, you put a deposit on your credit card, the computer that reprograms them. They both worked and started the car fine. Guess what? That same company sells universal key fobs that'll work on any car, and they got them for your Celica. Google Tom's Keys online and give you the directions of how to make it work. In the case of that, it's a 97. You don't need a computer to do it. You'll get the key and they'll give you a piece of paper. It'll give you the directions, say, open the door 3 times, do this. You just follow it and then it'll work and it'll open your car up. There's so many companies out there like that. You can go all around and look. I like Tom's because the stuff that they send me always works. And they got a reasonable price on a quality product. It's not garbage. It's not the cheapest junk out there. It's stuff that actually works. Everything they sent me so far works perfectly fine. And you can do it online. You don't have to go anywhere. I like that. I'm getting old and lazy, you know? I love it that things come every day in the mail. Oh, it's a treat. It's Christmas every day. Sometimes 5 or 6 times a day. It's Christmas. You don't have to go running around. Oh, yeah, we got it, they say. Then you drive 10 miles, get there, and they don't have it, right? The wrong one. The guys at Tom's, they seem to know what they're doing. Now, they don't pay me anything. I tried them out, and I thought, hey, I was really willing to say, boy, this is a bunch of crap. Take a picture of your key, yeah, then they send you one. I did, and they both work, so they know what they're doing. Louise from Buffalo says, I got an AC problem. I got a 2004 Camry. The AC didn't work right. I put too much refrigerant. I overfilled it. So I took it to a body shop, and they drained it out. It was a local store, and they didn't even do it right. I saw them releasing some into the open air while they were doing this. I rented a vacuum pump myself, and I filled it properly. Now it works fine, but a friend said I should have added oil. What should I do? All right, well, numero uno, those guys were breaking the law. It's a $30,000 fine for releasing refrigerant into the air. Mechanics are supposed to have recycling equipment that they use when they do it. That's the law, right? It depends on how much oil leaked out. Sometimes hardly any oil leaks out. The thing is, you can't tell. There's no way of checking it. The only way you could do an AC system is empty the system out, flush it out to get all the oil out, then you'd have to replace the AC dryer, put it back together, evacuate it, and then fill it up with a factory amount of oil that you can look up on data systems. I use all data. They have all the information on how much oil the system holds, and refrigerant, away you go. You can't do anything other than guess. Now, as just a conservative if you're worried. Some guys will add half an ounce of oil. A half an ounce of oil too much isn't really going to hurt anything. You don't want to overfill it with oil, but you don't want to have less oil. You could guess with that if you want to. But the only way you can tell is by emptying the whole system, so it's all educated guesswork. If all around the vehicle you don't see oil, big oil stains, like leaking around where the compressor was or the hoses, it didn't leak out much oil because the molecules of the refrigerant are much smaller than the oil molecules. And often the refrigerant leaks out and the oil stays mainly in the system. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.